Bad news for potential home buyers out there. Bidding wars are back, a hallmark of last decade's housing boom. Several areas throughout the country are suffering from a shortage of homes for sale.
That means higher prices and less homes to choose from. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here to help explain the phenomenon. Jill, thanks so much for being here.
Great to be with you.
So what's behind this rise?
Well, we just don't have a lot of inventory. In fact, a very low inventory, especially considering we've come out of this housing crisis. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking things get better, everyone lists their homes, right? Well, a couple of things that are problematic around that. Number one, you don't list your home unless you have another place to go. So there are people whose homes, maybe they're still underwater, they have no place to go, maybe they can't qualify for a mortgage. All of this is complicating things, and construction of new homes has not been as quick as you would have thought, partially because it's hard to get financing if you're a small to medium-sized builder. You put this together and you've got shrinking supply. That shrinking supply is putting pressure on prices.
Where is this type of shortage concentrated? Is it all over the country or in urban areas or rural areas?
We're back to location, right? And it really is the areas that have had explosive growth, and a lot on the coasts, but some technology centers, maybe around Austin. Sometimes there are pockets in neighborhoods, in markets as high, down to the 300th largest market. It really just depends on which neighborhood you're looking for. Obviously, the places where there's great school systems, there's pressure. Now, the other thing is, I know that we were talking about it's hard for buyers, but in some places, there are still fantastic bargains. And so if you look hard enough, or if you're looking for a fixer-upper and you're patient, you might be able to get a pretty decent buy right now.
So by the end of 2015, millennials will become the largest home buying age group. What does this trend mean for home buyers under the age of 35?
Yeah, this is interesting because millennials saw their parents go through the housing boom and bust. And as a result, they are skittish. And I think that's pretty smart, frankly. They're also carrying student loans, which are kind of tough to finance, as well as a mortgage. And they may have a sense that being tied to a house can limit your job opportunities. And in some respects, they're right, because one of the problems we had in the job market as the recovery continued was that the places where there were jobs, people couldn't get there because they were saddled with another home.
Right. So what can prospective buyers do to hedge themselves against these rising prices?
Well, here's the problem. There's not a great way to do this. I mean, you have to be willing to expand your net. And if you're not, if you're looking for the house in the neighborhood, then you're just going to have to be patient. And the problem is the clock's running against you a little bit. Think about this. Interest rates are starting to rise, right? And people know that. Those rising interest rates are prompting more people to jump into the housing market now. So here's what you need to think about. Number one, maybe renting is actually okay for you, because in some cases, renting is preferable to buying. Maybe you want the flexibility. Maybe you don't know if you're going to stay in that place. So don't necessarily feel compelled to buy. But the other piece of this is you've got to run the numbers. For some people, they may stretch a little bit and they think, oh, I'm going to try to buy more house than I need. That may not be the wisest decision for you, especially if you do want to have some options down the road.
All right, great advice. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger, thanks so much.
Sure.